Steve! Oh my goodness! Holy sh!
Well, hey folks, for this video I'm trying to do something a little different. I wasn't even originally intending on doing this. It just kind of struck me on my way here. Right now I'm at one of those self-serve junkyards where you go in and pull your own parts. Was here about, I don't know, 4 days ago. Happened to be in Des Moines doing some other stuff, had some time on my hands, and when that happens I like to just kind of walk through these yards and see what's available. And obviously I did find some stuff that I was interested in. One of them is a ZX2 Escort. It's got some nice low back bucket seats in them. I like having those around. I think those look pretty good in early Broncos and old muscle cars. And as you know, if you've been watching my channel, I've got a couple of old Mercury Comets that I'll be working on in the future. Right now I'm just collecting parts, so those would be pretty good for that. Or I could even use them in my 76 Bronco. I've got Ford probe seats in it now, but I think, yeah, the low back buckets from that ZX2 would look a lot better in it. So and those usually go pretty fast here, so they might be gone already. Good set of bucket seats. But other thing was there was a 77 LTD here, and it had, okay, I know two guys that were looking for parts from one of those, not specifically LTD, it just happened to have them. It had a Hydro Boost setup on it. I know one guy's looking for the Hydro Boost brake setup, and another guy's looking for the Saginaw power steering setup that those also have. It also had two Keystone 15-inch wheels on it that I kind of wanted. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Keystones. I love the look of them. I hate the washer and lug nut design of them. But these, I think I just mentioned it, they were 15-inchers. And that is, around here anyway, those are really hard to find. When they do show up, they seem like they're always 14-inchers. But there's only two of them on that. And unfortunately, that car was right next to a row that they were pulling out for crushing, so that car might be gone. In a way, I kind of hope it is, so I don't have to spend the money and the time pulling those parts. What else? Oh, I might also get a SN95 Mustang spindle while I'm in here. And who knows, there might be more stuff they have already set up since I was here last. I didn't bring my tripod, so I don't know how this is all going to work out, but let's get in there and find out. If this thing's worth a damn. Seems pretty sound. Well, it's still here. Looks to me like the front bumper's been taken. Probably demolition derby guys, and the carburetor. Check this out. Has a disc brake, 9-inch in it. Gonna get the Hydro Boost unit there for Monty, and the power steering pump. That's a Saginaw pump. I don't know why it is when they use these to do the Hydro Boost. Guy that I know that wants to put it on a wheeling rig. These are much superior power steering pumps to the Ford stuff, which honestly the Ford manufactured power steering pumps, that's setting a pretty low bar for improvement. And there's the 15-inch Keystones. I know they're not in great shape, but you guys know me, I'm not building show cars. I don't even have a use for them right now. I just kind of like the idea of having them around. Well, you don't really have to pull the radiator and shroud and all that out to get that out. I find it's so much easier, and it takes very little effort to get it out of the way. This also has the big case alternator, which used to be a hot ticket item with me, but I've switched everything I run over to 3G stuff now. Alright, I got the power steering pump, sent the pictures to the guy, and he decided he wanted the air compressor too. I'm guessing he's going to use that for an onboard air system. But now it's time to get the actual Hydro Boost unit, which is going to be kind of a bear. Obviously you have to get in way underneath the dash there to get it unbolted. I'm going to have a hard time doing that because the door won't open far enough. And I thought about just taking the door off, but I can't quite access the bolts. So this is going to be quite the feat of weaseling in there. Alright, I got the Hydro Boost harvested. Wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Got the tires and wheels off. I think I'm just going to leave the wheels here for now and think about it. I might come back for them. They are pretty rough shape, but yeah. I don't know. They'd work for like a rat rod or rat muscle car build. Get them sandblasted and just rattle can them black. This one really makes me want to cry. I love this body style Ranchero, and it's really not a total rot box. You know, the people that sold it probably only got like $200 or $300 out of it. It is rough, no doubt, but it didn't deserve to end up here. In my opinion, anyway. Alright, my next victim here is an 01 Mustang. I need the steering knuckle off of this. I have a front suspension from a 04, and one of these days I'm going to try to put it underneath my 1963 Econoline truck. And it has a bent arm here on the spindle. So I'm not in any imminent need of having that, but what the hell, I'm already here, I got tools, so I'm going to snag it now. Alright, looks like I'm going to come away empty-handed on this front. This bolt came out good, but this one rounded off. There's one other Mustang here, and it's already got all the steering robbed off of it, so I'm shit out of luck for this one today. Good thing I don't need it immediately. I'll make another pass through the Ford section, see if there is another Mustang hiding out here, but pretty sure there isn't. Wrong year, won't work. Convertible 2.3. Alright, found another. This one's an 02, so another chance at redemption here. Got the Mustang spindle headed to the pile, and the ZX2 seats are still here. These are in really good shape. It's hard finding these in good shape because these were just like throwaway economy boxes. Another thing that makes these nice is because this is a two-door. They tip forward, so they work good in old muscle cars or any other two-door. Somebody else getting some seats today. Here's my conundrum now. This came out super easy. This was somebody's baby. This is in real good shape. Get them out here without getting them dirty. I got all done in the Ford section. Thought I'd take a lap through the truck and SUV section, see if there's anything cool. This is an 08 Dodge. I'm guessing it's a 1-ton. Now this isn't a Dana 60 in here, it is the AAM equivalent, which is I believe a 10.5. Yeah, it's got like Dana 60 size joints in it. It's just kind of a competitor to a front Dana 60. Just parts aren't quite as common. From what I've read and researched about these, because I do have one that came out of a burnt truck, they're supposedly pretty comparable to a Dana 60 in strength. There's quite a few of these two-wheel drive Super Duties here. Now I'd heard that these arms here that go to the front on these will work on the older twin traction beam, and they're a lot longer to allow for more flex. Interesting. It's too bad they always set this stuff right on there where you can't get that. Not that I'm building a twin traction beam setup right now, but it'd be nice to have a set. So I'm sure someday I will again. Seems like you always find more older stuff in the truck section. I'm not a Dodge guy, but this is kind of a pity. Make a great beater wheeler. Found another Hydro Boost unit. This is on a Power Stroke Super Duty. This one would have been a lot easier to get out than that car. Bolts for it are just a lot more accessible. Oh well, something to keep in mind next time. I should go ahead and grab it, but I've already got a couple in the shed anyway. Ooh, hood pins. This is a race truck apparently. Yeah. Don't see Jeep Comanches very often. Straight axle there. Use that for building you a gasser front end or some sort of old hot rod if you wanted to. Another vehicle makes me want to cry seeing it out here. I love me some step sides. I think actually step side was the GM moniker. Ford calls them flare sides. I don't care what you call them or what brand they are. I love them. And then just 2 spots down, another sad fate. Half ton, 4-wheel drive. Again, I bet when they sold this to this place, they didn't get any more than $200 or $300 for this. Look at there, everything you need, nothing you don't. Ooh, smells like gas in here. Sad, sad. Man, I'd like to have these white spoke wheels off of this truck. They're all 4 there, but they didn't quite get it high enough off the ground to get them off of there. Got an upcoming F-250 revival and trip. These wheels would work pretty good for that. Well, maybe if I get time later on this week, I might come up here and maybe try letting the air out of the tires. Maybe that might give it enough to get them weaseled out of there. Boy, it started out kind of cool this morning, but it got hot today. I'm sweating. Wish I'd worn some shorts now. So let's see here. Let's tally up the damage, shall we? Got bucket seats were $31 a piece. The power steering pump was $24. The Mustang knuckle was $23. The hub that was on it was $14. I guess I could have taken that off, but the 2 steel wheels were $14 a piece, the Keystones, and the Hydro Boost brake booster was $30. And there's a core charge on each one of them, a couple bucks. Total came out with taxes and environmental charges to $227.40. Now there was another yard across town. I was thinking about going to that, but I think I got enough today. I actually spent more time getting parts for other people than the stuff that I got for myself. And why would I do that? I guess it's just because I'm such a nice guy. Anyway, I got to head out to some hardware stores here. That was my main purpose. This was just secondary. What I really need to do is find some 1¼ inch black pipe, 90 degrees and 45s for that Bronco 2 project for the rear radiator line. So I'm going to head out, see what I can find. Well, it took 3 stops to find the black pipe fittings I was looking for. Went to Mills Fleet Farm first, and the saying always goes, if Mills Fleet Farm doesn't have it, you don't need it. Well, I needed it and they didn't have it. They failed me. Home Depot didn't have it. Ended up going to Menards. They had it. Kind of been sipping on this weird stuff I found this morning. It's Pepsi with marshmallow Peeps flavor. I bought it thinking, well, this is going to be disgusting, but I got to find out. But it's actually not bad in my opinion. It's not great either. It's not something I'm going to crave. I don't know quite how to describe the flavor, but I've tasted this flavor before, and it's not Peeps. I don't know where. It's kind of like a, I guess for lack of a better way to describe it, like that A&W cream soda. I would say it's pretty much like that. But anyway, I guess I am pretty much done for today. Gonna wrap this video up. It's been a short one, been kind of unusual. I guess if you have to have a serving of me, a short one would probably be best. But anyway, got one thing left to do, go grab Long John Silver's and take that home with me. Or so I'm told that's what I need to do. Maybe he'll get on this. It sounds pretty good. Uh-oh. Why is the Ranger on a trailer? It crapped out on me a few miles from home. At least it was fairly close. Not like 7 hours away in Wisconsin like last summer. Anyway, I think it's the fuel pump. It's, honestly, it doesn't even bother me. This is 23-year-old truck. Yeah, it's understandable that it might need a little maintenance once in a while, maybe a fuel pump. Let's see if we can get it diagnosed before it gets dark out. So what it was doing, I was just driving along and it just kind of died. I pulled over onto a gravel road, and if you'd let it sit a little while and crank it, you could hear the fuel pump running, but it seems like it never really made pressure. You know, like you can hear a fuel pump drag down. But yeah, if you would sit there and let it cool for a little bit, you could actually get it to start up, but it just wouldn't have any power to pull itself. But the longer you would let it sit, the better it would get. Because like right now, after just hauling it home, it cooled off enough that I pulled it off the trailer right up here to the shop door before it started cutting out. So if it isn't the fuel pump, I'm going to say it's some sort of a component in the ignition that's getting hot. Let's hook up the fuel pump fuel pressure gauge and see what's going on. Just doing a quick search on the internet, I'm finding that the Flex Fuel 3-liter, which this isn't, is calling for 55 to 65 pounds. I could probably do a little more searching and find the non-Flex Fuel, but we'll just run with that and see if that gets us in the ballpark. I'm not going to start it, I'm just going to cycle the key a few times. Well, watching the video I just shot, as you saw, it was 45 pounds, and then it would bleed down really quick. So I'm thinking it's the pump. I'm going to do a little more research later on, but right now I need to take advantage of the daylight I have. But I'll do a little more research later and find out if 45 is indeed too low, which I believe it is. Right now I'm going to go up the house, get my scan tool. I don't leave it out in the shop, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it in just to check it out. Okay, so what the code reader's telling me, there's one in there that's some sort of emissions evaporative thing. I don't think that's it, but there are two, and that's the oxygen sensors are reading lean, which is a telltale sign of not getting enough fuel pressure. So I'm going to go with that, unless I find out something different. But even if that is making enough pressure up there, 45 is enough for the non-Flex Fuel 3-liter, the way the pressure drops back off immediately, that's a bad sign. So unless I find something else in my research that I do later tonight, I'm going to call it a bad fuel pump. That's okay, Ranger. I still love you. You're a good truck. It's understandable you need a little maintenance once in a while. We'll get you all fixed up. You'll get to feeling better. So it's the next afternoon. By what research I got done last night, it seems that my major problem is the fuel pressure regulator, which is mounted on the fuel pump inside the tank, which makes total sense when you consider how the pressure got up to 45 and then just would immediately drop when you shut the key off. Honestly, I think 45 pounds of pressure, which should be enough to get it running and keep it running. It wouldn't run right under heavy load conditions, but I priced a pressure regulator as like $125. At that point, by the time I go in and either drop the tank or pull the bed, you know, putting that much work into it for another $100 roughly, I could just change out the whole fuel pump assembly. So I think that's what I'm going to do. At this point, I'm not sure whether I am going to drop the tank or pull the bed. I'm thinking I'm going to pull the bed just because that seems easier than getting underneath. I'm no doubt the bed bolts are probably rusty enough that they're probably all going to break off, and I'll just have to deal with that later. But yeah, at least I'm not underneath it. And plus the amount of crud that gets thrown up in there through these gravel roads, it's just going to be a lot easier cleaning it from above before I crack the tank open than trying to do it from underneath and getting those lines unhooked. I bet it's going to be a filthy, rusty mess underneath there. It'll just be easier dealing with that with the bed off. That being said, I think I'm going to wrap this video up. Thanks for coming along. What was intentionally meant to just be a light and merry junkyard jaunt turned into diagnosing my poor little Ranger here, which I still love. I don't know. The only thing I don't like about this Ranger, I wish it had the 4-liter in it. Manual transmission, manual crank windows. It's, like I said, it's got everything you need and nothing you don't. It's just a bare basic truck. Yeah, I'm definitely fixing it. Some guy offered me $200 for it yesterday while I was winching it up onto the trailer. No, not this truck. Me and this truck have been through too much together. But anyway, again, thanks for watching. Do you want to see a video of me pulling the bed off and putting the pump in it? I doubt you do. I wouldn't want to see that, but hey, let me know if you do. I'll go ahead and record it. I got to do it anyway. But see you next time.